Hi, I'm Alana. Welcome to another video. In today's video, we're doing a get ready with me for church. So, today I want to talk about a paper called On the Universal Tendency Toward Debasement in the Sphere of Love, which is a paper by Freud. So, in 1912, Freud published a short, stunning essay called On the Universal Tendency Toward Debasement in the Sphere of Love. It opens with a clinical complaint and closes with a claim about civilization itself. So Freud starts in the consulting room. After anxiety, he says the most common problem men bring to him is psychical impotence. Men of strong sexual appetite who fail sexually, but only with certain partners, never with others. Their body works fine, so the block is not organic, it's psychological, and it's tied to some feature of the particular person. So his explanation is that love in these men is built from two streams that never merged. So the first is the affectionate current, tender, protective, formed in early childhood toward family and caregivers. The second is the sensual current, which arrives at puberty. In healthy development, these two fuse so that we desire the person we love. In these men, they stay split. So why? Because the affectionate current stays fixated on its first objects, like the mother and the sister, and that fixation is never surmounted. So at puberty, the sensual current tries to follow the same path, but it slams into the incest barrier. To have any sexual life at all, it has to seek out outside objects, but objects modeled on the first forbidden ones. And whenever a partner resembles that prohibited figure too closely, even in some small way, the impotence returns. So this gives Freud his most famous line, where they love, they do not desire, and where they desire, they cannot love. Love splits in two, what art calls sacred and profane love, and the defense these men use is debasement. They degrade the sexual object so it no longer recalls the revered, forbidden one. Only with a partner they can look down on does desire flow freely. Respect, in other words, kills desire for these men. So Freud says this is not a rare disorder confined to the ill. A mild aversion afflicts nearly all civilized men. Very few ever truly fuse affection and sensuality. Most feel their respect for a woman acting as a brake on desire, and reach full potency only with a debased object. Hence, he suggests the respectable man who keeps a lower class mistress. And women, he argues, live a parallel version. The long enforced delay between sexual maturity and permitted sex welds sexuality to prohibition itself, sometimes producing frigidity when sex is finally allowed, sometimes a desire that only reignites through secrecy. Underneath all of this is a general principle: desire needs an obstacle. Freud claims that the psychical value of an erotic need drops as soon as satisfaction becomes easy. Where nature doesn't supply resistance, humans invent it. He even credits Christian asceticism with creating a value for love that easygoing pagan antiquity never managed. Then Freud says, maybe, he suggests, the problem isn't only upbringing, maybe something in the sexual instinct itself resists full satisfaction. He gives two reasons. First, because of the incest barrier, the final object of desire is never the original, always only a substitute, and no substitute ever fully satisfies. Hence the restless craving for stimulation in adult love. Second, the instinct's oldest components, the coprophilic, the sadistic, get suppressed by culture, yet the genitals themselves remain, in his word, animal, inter urinus et feces, between urine and feces, from which he draws his grim rewrite of Napoleon, Anatomy is Destiny. So Freud's conclusion is that It may simply be impossible, he says, to reconcile the sexual instinct with the demands of civilization. Non-satisfaction is the price we pay for culture, but that very dissatisfaction is the engine. The energy that can't find satisfaction gets sublimated, redirected, and out of it comes our highest cultural achievements. So if sex fully satisfied us, Freud says, we never bother to build anything else. So an essay that begins with one man's private failure in the bedroom ends as a theory of why civilization exists at all, powered, Freud thinks, by a dissatisfaction we can never really cure. So, thank you for getting rid of me for church today. You're beautiful, you're perfect, I love you, God bless you, goodbye.